All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Coffee is for Closers. It's me, James, and Marco Cortesi, Kumpare.
Stallion.
How's everyone going?
Stallion. I don't know what happened there.
Today, what we're going to talk about is the classic, the ever-present Christmas objection. So if you guys are listening to this, it's coming up to Christmas, trying to make some sales. And today, hopefully, we can give you some strategies and some things that you can say to smash people into oblivion so that they buy now and do what's in their best interest.
If you listen to this podcast, you will make your first million within 3 years. I'm going to repeat that. You will make $1 million within 3 years of the first episode you listen to. We don't want pikers. We're not here to save the manatees. We're here to make podcasts. You really want this. You listen and review.
Put that coffee down.
All right.
Hey.
Yeah, typically people just want to, when it's coming into like that mid-December, want to wait to early January to get started, mostly because of holidays and stuff like that. So it's always a big objection, a semi-logistical, semi-think-about-it objection. So let's dissolve it. Let's break it down.
Let's say that since we're coming from a lot of sales in fitness, for us is like bread and butter, coming around November and December and just overcome that.
Yeah, man. For me, it's a difficult one because it's difficult, but it's definitely doable. It's like, because you have to know that it's coming, and you have to set up the framework of like, you constantly put things in your own way to not have to act. And I think like with fitness, it's especially prevalent because like people, so even the amount of sales that like people are like, oh, I have a wedding in 7 weeks, so I just want to wait till after that because I'm going to have a cheat day. It's like, motherfucker, you have a cheat life.
Yeah.
Like what's one day? What's the difference?
People get afraid of losing momentum.
Yeah. And I think that's the whole point of it. It's just really a big time objection multiplied by 10, just because it's so common that people give you that you kind of deal with that. I think there is two main things, is pre-handle it at the start of it and handle it at the end. That's the main part.
You just cardon smash that one, I think.
Yeah.
No, you gotta. It's one where you gotta take the trigger off the safety, put it on instant, and just start shooting.
Yeah, for sure. And like the biggest thing I found, like selling fitness, towards the end of December, is a lot of people are actually going away. Like particularly in Australia anyway, people go and sit at caravan parks or whatever for 2 weeks and just drink beers the whole time. So
that's fantastic. So wouldn't you rather have a strategy?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
To not gain weight, right?
Yeah.
So like, how much weight did you gain last Christmas? 4 kilos. Okay. Would you love a strategy to where you can lose 4 kilos over the next 4 to 6 weeks leading up to that, and then have a strategy in place where you can enjoy yourself and not gain the 4 kilos? So you're actually having a net gain, a net loss of 8 kilos compared to what you would do if you didn't do it. Would you like to lose 8 kilos net over the next 60 days?
Sweet ass. You're ruining my train of thought and my point where I was getting at, but that's fine.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. The whole point of it, which is like right now you're facing a 5 kilo decision.
Yeah.
In general, you're gonna face a 15 kilo decision. So either way, you will have to do it, and it's never right time until you make it, because technically the ideal time was yesterday.
Yeah, totally. So the point that I was trying to make is let's actually break down what's going through those people's heads so that we can overcome them and we have a full understanding of where to go about it, right? One, if you're selling fitness, it's if you're doing like group training, one-on-one and stuff like that, a lot of those gyms will shut down for a period of 10 days. And people don't want to lose that momentum, so they want to wait till after that January to get started. They don't want to lose the momentum that they built. And they are taking time off, and they know that they're just going to enjoy themselves and don't want to feel guilty about it, right? So in fitness, then
it's the exact same with any coaching and consulting offer as well.
Totally.
It's going to be a stand down period over that time anyway. So.
100%, right? And then the business coaches, they're like, okay, well, we're going to drop our lead volume down. Therefore, our revenue is going to drop. We're not going to implement. I'm not actually going to sit down at the computer and start putting these practices in place from mid December and until January till I get back in the office and I'm working. So that's the kind of mindset that people are throwing, that the people have when they're giving that objection. And when we understand the mindset of the people coming in and why they're making that decision, then we can overcome it, put the pre-framing, adjust the scripts in advance.
You say one thing which is super interesting, which is
it's stupid mindset.
No, but he's saying, most of the times people, the way how they speak is the way how they speak with themselves. It's like losing momentum.
Yep.
Losing momentum is not quitting. That's all.
I agree.
So losing momentum is find a solution to counteract a possibly issue that you might have, which is in business is like, oh, well, the leads are going down. What can we do for make sure that we have the same amount of leads and find a charisma software or create something around it so that you can get leads, that you still can get a decent amount of income so you don't have to quit and lose momentum.
Yeah, totally correct.
Fitness is the same. It's like you can decide to lose the momentum and gain 10 kilo after that. You spend 6 months trying to lose them and regain them in a month. Or you can decide to find an online personal trainer or having an online service that helps you to stay in shape. So you just have 3 days off rather than a month because you're trying to build an excuse.
Yeah, totally.
Also, like for fitness in particular, I used to make it into a positive. Which I was really good at. Because I'd be like, wouldn't you love to have a strategy where every single Christmas you don't gain weight? So why don't we focus on over that period, creating a strategy where you can enjoy yourself and actually still like maintain, because maintenance is a win if you usually gain. If you're gaining 5 kilos a month and you don't gain 5 kilos that month, that's a massive win. Right? So let's just have a look at the success metric and change it. And so I think like for coaches and consultants, it's like, have a look at the success metric. Like if you usually has a massive dip of income over December and January, let's focus on not having a dip of income, but we don't have to increase income, but we can focus on maintaining revenue over that period so that you're not rebuilding every fucking 12 months. And so like, if we can do that, like when we were helping out gyms, when we were doing sales for gyms, like literally around October, even though we weren't coaching these guys, we were doing their sales, would be like, okay, cool. Let's put the plan in place now to get the referrals, do the internal challenges. Like, let's do stuff. And you can do that with your coaching consulting business as well. It's like, how do we ramp referrals over this period? Because referrals are always going to be easier to sign anyway. Right. And how do we focus on like just stopping the bleed during this time, make sure that we come out of January in the same spot that we were at the end of November. Yeah. And that's a great framework to use, because if that person, if you can get it out of them that they lose money every single December, every single January, if you can have them not lose money, it's fucking worth every penny, because now they got a strategy that stops them from having to rebuild every 12 months.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. And I feel like that is a concept that feeds people with a weak mindset. So if you're in fitness, you always have the lady that tells you next week, next month, next year. She feeds out of sending the inquiry during November and saying that she can't do it in December. That is a really mindset-based objection rather than being logistic. Okay, it's not logistic at all. There's nothing logistic about doing things later on.
Christmas is one day.
Yeah, it's just about perspective, just perception and perspective. So it's 5 Christmas that you've been calling in November. At some point, we gotta get you in shape because you haven't started in February either. So what we gotta do?
Yeah, and at the absolute worst case, you sign people up and say that's fine. We can pay the first month now. You start January 1st and set a start date. Then they're making the commitment, and that's what we used to do a lot of the time in fitness. If they were legitimately going on holidays, let's say it's a 6-week program. It's like, okay, we'll sign you up now. We'll do 2 now, and we'll give you an extra 1 in January when you come back. So we'll extend it to 7.
Like, just imagine you're on holiday, and the moment you get back, you were taking action on what you have to do. You know that 5 kilos that you gained is going to be dropped. You know that you actually have something in place to be able to get the outcome that you want. Like, it's that peace of mind.
And you enjoy.
Don't you want to have peace of mind while on holiday, or do you want to be fucking worrying about the fat gut, the fact that you can't see your dick? You know what I mean? Or like, do you want to be worrying about your business over on holiday, or knowing that, January 5th rolls around and you've got a plan in place to where a coach is going to help you start to rebuild that?
Absolutely. Because then you're not sitting on your holiday stressed about what do I do in January, because you're committed. You got the plan already. Exactly. And you've got the plan in place to lose that weight if it is a fitness product, because you're starting your journey day one.
Yeah. Then you can start to like paint pictures in their mind about like, them being on holiday and being like, the last few days of holiday, do you want to be worried about how the fuck you're going to get this weight off or how the fuck you're going to start to rebuild your business, because you have had a month off and you have had a 10, 15% dip in income? Or do you want to sit there and sleep sound in the fact that that you're doing everything you can? You have someone who has a plan waiting for you, is going to hold you accountable to actually getting off your ass and fucking doing something come January 5th.
And
there is an element also bring them to a level of like, okay, I guess like if you look at a business, one of the most successful person on this planet can be like Jeff Bezos. Okay, do you reckon that someone like Jeff Bezos in December says like, hey guys, no, let's do it in January because it's December? What the hell are we talking about? Like, so.
And then a really good sort of rebuttal point and objection handling thing, particularly for business owners. If you, the person that makes the decision, can't take 2 weeks off and your business go to shit, you probably need this program more than anyone.
Yeah, I actually had this objection last week. One guy that is going to work with us really soon, which I'm super excited for it. And he was like, I want to wait in January. Well, I do. Well, let's put it in this perspective. How long the implementation is going to take you? Because technically it's not going to take you a week. I was like, yeah, I think you know where you're going. If you want something to put in place for trying to generate more leads, waiting in January, it's not great.
Well, then you don't get your first lead till February.
Yeah. So what are we talking about?
Yeah.
The Western world shuts down. Australia fucking shuts down until the 26th. Like, man, Australia is the worst because everyone waits till after Australia Day.
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst. Like, it's way worse over here than what it is in the States. In the States, people are like, January 1, they're like, what are we there to do? And there's like a fury of buying. Like, there's a fury of buying in the States in January. But in Australia, it's like January 27th it starts because everyone's, or the 28th because they're so hungover from fucking Australia.
Yeah, because
on the 26th, they don't give a fuck.
Because that feeds their mindset. Like that's why when it comes down that a time objection is just purely a mindset objection, because that is like something that someone has always been telling to people every time they be on sales calls every year in November. It's like, I'm gonna start the 28th because it's, dude, just get rid of that.
How many of these calls have you had, champ?
Yeah,
today.
And then after Australia,
you got the wrong call.
Wrong person, buddy.
but then if you let them get away with the whole Christmas waiting, Australia Day waiting, it's like, okay, then we'll just wait till Anzac Day, then we'll wait till Easter, then we'll wait till
I used to do that shit to people. I used to do that shit to people. Like, I just want to wait till the New Year. And I go, yeah, that makes sense. But I was like, Australia Day is like a couple weeks afterwards. We should just wait till then, I think. And then go, well, Valentine's Day is like 2 weeks after. Right. And then I'm like, March is like fucking, it's coming into fall. The seasons are changing and
don't want to get sick.
It all gets really fucking, it starts to get cold and miserable. And so like, my birthday's in March. We'll wait till after my birthday. And then it's Anzac Day. Fucking Anzac Day is a big one. So we should wait till after that. And in May, I'm pretty sure a lot of people get married in May. So there's probably a wedding. So I think we should why don't we lock it in for June? Are you happy with that? And they'd just be like, and I'll be like, you see how fucking stupid that sounds when you say it out loud? Like, it's ridiculous. And I think a lot of the time, just like, people don't do it. They're not doing it to be douchebags. They're just doing it because like, it's just how their brains work.
Yeah. Just a why?
It's right in the 4,000 weeks. I got that guy today from using the 4,000 weeks thing.
Yeah, nice.
You know what I mean? I was like, hey man, how old are you? And he goes like, he goes, oh, I'm like 32. And then I was like, all right, cool. And when were you born? He's like, so it was like halfway through the year. So I went, all right, cool. Because this guy hesitates all the time. So I went 32.5 multiplied by 52. Okay, that's 1,700 weeks. I was like, all right, man, cool. So I'll divide that by 4,000. Cool. You're 42% of the way through your life.
Yeah, and that's something that hits people. I remember when you used to do the analogy about the dots, and that kind of hit me. like when I heard that analogy.
Yeah, dude. Remember when I said it on the team training and everyone just shut the fuck up? And it was everyone was like, oh, fuck. That's like, it's just an analogy around objection handling that I was teaching, but everyone gets so introspective when you bring death in, because like it's the one constant that we all have behind us. You know, when someone's coming into Christmas and they have that attitude, it's like, yeah, man, but it's like, you know, you only get 4,000 weeks, right? If you only have 4,000 of something, wasting 6 of them is not insignificant.
Yeah.
You know?
I remember when I'm getting myself into reading a lot of books lately. Okay. So I've got the goal to read one a month, when I was getting into 1 month.
I didn't know you could read.
Yeah, I started. I've started, but I'm taking my time, but it works. And it was a quote from the book of Tony Robbins I read. It was like, there's just so much time to be for being pain until it's the end of your life. And that struck me, because that's like, time is just really, people don't understand the time.
Yeah. Well, Buddha has a great quote, which is, the problem is you think you have time.
Yeah.
It's super powerful. It's fucking powerful, man. It's like, hey, dude, you're fucking up because you think you have time and you don't.
People take life for granted and they don't actually think that they're going to die one day, but they will. Everyone will.
Yeah. I fucking remind them.
Yeah.
Right? Man, you actually said that shit on a sales call the other day with Ome. You said like, hey, man, Matt told me once, you can, what's the fucking quote?
You can either die tired or give up right now.
Yeah.
Die running.
You can run and die tired, but either way. Yeah. So you might as well just stand there and then make it easy.
Yeah. But that became my trade. So when I get someone an objection, in my head, I think it's like, this guy is about to die really tired. Really, really tired. Well, I think I'm going to get him. So. But it's gonna be, these are fun things. That's why we talk about with people about objection handling, and why it's actually fun is because we make it fun for us, as it's a trade game where you're really happy to get into that place. You're not actually like completely fearful, like, oh man, he's rejecting on me. And I just give me everything, man.
That's what it is. It's, you can run, but you'll just die tired.
Yeah,
that's what it is. I was trying to think of the exact wording. Yeah. I wish we could put that on the logo. You can run.
Yeah.
You can object, but you'll just buy tired.
Buy tired.
There was a period I was doing.
I love that.
There was a period I was doing.
Oh, you know, we have to get a T-shirt. You can object, but you'll just buy tired.
Ooh, man.
Sales sniper.
And then on the back, say you can run, but you'll just die tired.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's a great one. I love it.
So, you know, we discussed that, like why people put this bullshit in place around Christmas and how we do it. So how, coming into that Christmas period, do we adjust our scripts so that we can pre-frame things better to minimize that objection we get?
You got to set those hesitation hooks, right? So a lot of what I've been teaching people in our one-to-one stuff, which don't apply because we have no spots. Do not reach out to us for one-on-one training. Please. We do not have the capacity.
Dude,
I did one post about the time us having the capacity, and then we signed up like 9 people.
Yeah, by the time this comes out, we may have. So please, just keep messaging Matt on Facebook. It's the best way.
Yeah, and make sure you ask me for a job. I love that.
Oh, no.
I love when you book in a sales call and ask me for a job. That's a fucking really good way to get me on side.
Yeah. Thank you for wasting my time.
And if you did that, you're listening, you did nothing but piss me off. I'm going to take up an hour of your time and ask you for a job. Fuck you.
No, one guy did it, and this guy is 15 years old, and I had to give him a job, though.
Oh, yeah, savage. Yeah.
He's 16.
The most savage dude I have seen, man. They do this a sponge.
There's a big difference between 15 and 16, let me tell you.
He didn't book in a call to ask for a job. He booked in a call to see how you sell so that he could replicate it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a different.
No, I gotta say that he got sold.
Yeah, he did.
He got sold. Yeah. It's a great guy, though.
Oh, this is great. There's a patch that you can get. You can run. You'll only die tired. There's fucking patches you can get.
Yeah, nice. So we're going to buy motorbikes and put them on leather jackets?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's be a motorcycle gang. You know, for the office, we'll have to buy a Harley and just put it in there.
Yeah, cool.
It's because it looks cool as fuck.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. So for the guys listening, we're taking some office space probably about January, we'll start fitting things out. We're looking at a few properties over the next
It's going to be a
weeks.
giant man cave.
So if you're a real estate agent that has commercial property in Sydney, send me a message and I'll book you.
We'll sell you into Serhnant.
No, I'll book you with a chat to the right. So and then you can negotiate a better price.
You just became a lead. Just so you know.
I just want to give an advice for anyone that is going to come trying to knock at that door for do door-to-door sell. Don't do it, brother. Don't do it, brother. Don't try to come
We'll buy our door-to-door sales program. We're coming off a bit arrogant on this podcast, but it's because the three of us get together and we get a bit stupid.
Is this a podcast?
Come and sell me solar because you're gonna get off with a 15.
Yeah, you buy. That'd be great for Jeremy's program. That's the best for solar.
Are you Are we doing
Come on in
podcast right now? I thought we were just having a chat.
Just talking shit. Yeah.
I didn't even know.
No, okay. So let's get back on track. So I think that the best thing is setting those hesitation hooks.
Yep.
So like, really talking about like what was the plan for the year? Because if you can get that conversation, if the plan for the year was like, I wanted to do this, I wanted to achieve this, or I did achieve this, and next year it's that. And then like, especially if it's business, like, did you experience a downturn last year during Christmas and lead up? Okay, like tell me like what was that? Did that have an impact on you? Right? Yeah. As soon as you kind of get that information, in my opinion, it's kind of like a gotcha, right? Because like now I can then use that moving forward. So if you set that hook and you get the impact of having a downturn, and you guys have a strategy to help not have a downturn, they're pretty much done. And then if you're selling in fitness, which a lot of the guys listening to this podcast are, it's about like, again, that hesitation. So like mitigating the damage is as good as getting a result. Like that is a result. So you got to change the success metric to be like loss mitigation instead of like an actual like, rather than more like a really good outcome. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think there's a second way you can take that as well for coaching and stuff, and in particular gyms, right? Also, we want to mitigate that risk of the downturn. So also typically most of those guys will mention that their biggest months are January, right? So you can take that in the other direction, right? And be like, okay, so if we put in that work now, we have the plan in place ready so you can take full advantage of your historic best sales month. Do you want to be in a position where you can do significantly better than you have every other year? And I think that's a good place to take it if that first one doesn't work.
Yeah, I think there is like, there is three frames. Okay, one is when like it's similar to the COVID period. It's like, I guess like when you start the call, you ask like, what attracted you to book a call in a period like this and like around Christmas? So you get it out of the way. The second one, if you're really good at doing NPQ, point at the consequences question and learn, on why it's so important. I guess like why it's so important for you now, though. And the other one would be to ask if there was a way and possibly help you out with this, when would you be ready to implement that? And then you embrace the Christmas objection, but without the price in the middle, that you overcome that there.
Yeah.
Hey, here's a question for you. This is actually something that's come up a lot lately with people applying like those more neutral NEPQ style, possibly what about, what if. When do you think you do it so much that it makes you into a pussy and you lose all of your ability to push people?
After you ask question, like you can't go into any, like there is the questioning, which is fine, is possibly because you're still trying to qualify if he's a right fit for it. But after there is the switch when you go like, okay, I think this one can help you out.
Yeah.
And then you switch it off.
I think there's an opening, right? When you're digging deeper and you've asked enough questions, like, and we did this on a training the other day. One of the guys was role playing and he answered the questions. He answered a couple questions. Then he just asked another, let's dig deeper questions. Like, no, at that point you had enough information. You needed to go in, change the tone of the conversation and move to the pitch rather than digging deeper because you had enough information to proceed.
Yeah, I mean, I review a script today, which I'm not gonna name, but and it goes like into the presentation of the product. What the product is like, oh, we can possibly give you a coaching session. I was like, it's not we can possibly give you a coaching. We do give you a coaching session for help you out.
Yeah,
just cut the possibly out from the questioning. Yeah, like from the questioning, when the last question finished, then you just go for it. That is like,
we did a role play in the closing code today, and they made himself so neutral that I was like, do you even know what you're talking about?
Yeah.
So is there a way that we could possibly find out if there's anything that we could maybe do for you? I was like, what the fuck
There's
are
a
you
point-
saying?
There's a point where you just sound like a fucking moron.
Yeah.
It's
And the
like-
problem is, right, and you know, we talk about Jeremy a lot, and the guy's as fucking man, he's a savage. But like, he's so good at like that playful self-deprecation, putting himself down really subtly, and like doing those nuanced things that like it's so hard to emulate. And I think what fucks people up is they try and do it exactly like he does, but without the like super subtle 1% things that he does better than probably anybody else in the world. And so they just fall flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think like people need to like strap their big boy pants on every now and then. And I was just like, dude, do you talk like that normally? Because if you don't talk like that, like, how are you going to pull that off? Like, you can't be another person. Like, you can't act 5 hours a day. That doesn't work. You know, I had a meeting with a guy today who we signed into coaching, who had done a lot of coaching. And he's just like, oh, the questions just don't land right. I just don't feel comfortable saying it. And I was like, what do you mean you don't feel comfortable? I was like, what do you give a fuck? You know, it's just like, stop being a pussy, man. That was like my whole coaching session. Stop being a pussy. Just ask the question. You know, he's like, oh, I'm afraid like if I ask for a referral, it doesn't land right. I'm like, you just sold this person's house. You've just made their lives happy. They really like you. They're super happy with you. And you feel weird asking for a referral. I go, that's ridiculous. I go, that just means you don't believe in yourself. Like, get some fucking chutzpah.
So,
You know what I mean?
too many mindset. Anyway,
Certainty.
we definitely went off track from the Christmas.
No, that was perfectly on track. Christmas.
So I actually found like just while you guys were talking, I thought about it, and it seems it's really similar objection to what we got about a month after the first wave of COVID.
Yeah.
Where there was that uncertainty and people wanted
That
to
was a
wait.
rough time.
Yeah, it's like, well, guess what? If you fucking got through COVID, you're going to get through Christmas. Let's do it.
Yeah. You know, and also like, I told you, it's just the aspect of feeding a mindset of someone that's already have a weak mindset. So it's just there. It's just when you tap into that, it's like, man, honestly, if it was in Christmas, it was COVID. If it was in COVID, it was like, yeah, Anzac Day. So
It was the election, you know?
yeah,
It was this, it was that,
yeah.
it was whatever.
Fucking mother's second cousin's wedding. There's always some shit.
But it's also like when someone came with a Biden-Trump election. No, my calls because I probably would have rant on that. But someone else called. It's like, we don't know if Biden or Trump is going to win. I was like, well, either way, it's
Are they a prospect of yours?
yeah. It's like, are you going to quit if Trump lose? Like, are you going to quit your business? Like, what's going
Gotta move
on?
to Canada.
Yeah. So
Like, fuck, man. Although I saw the funniest meme, it wasn't real, but it was a Twitter quote of Trump saying, if Biden wins, I'm going to move to Canada. And then it was Joe Biden's Twitter saying, bye, Den.
Biden.
Biden. Biden. Anyway, oh, that was fucking funny.
I was just waiting for him to go, you're fired.
You're fired. Oh, man, if he doesn't do that, he's a pussy.
Yeah, absolutely.
If he does not say, Trump, you're fired, he loses all respect in my mind. But anyway,
Just give him a little
ain't over until it's
707
over.
action, kick him out of parliament.
Yeah. At this point, it's still not over. It won't be over until December. So at this point, when we're recording, it's not over, but it will be by the time this comes out. So
and they're coming back.
Whoever the president is, though, who gives a fuck? It makes no difference to me.
No, coming back of the objection that you were saying, okay, the Christmas objection, the time objection. See someone like Trump, for example, which is the most extreme things. The way how his mindset plays, or even losing on things, is like he's still there, still sleeping in the White House. No, but that does give then it's like, no, I wanna go and check a lawyer. So he sent a lawyer for check the counting of the votes and everything. It's like that teaches you the different kind of mindset, and that's why you gotta
He's getting after.
He's getting after.
Is he getting after it, or is he a sore loser?
Yeah, but it's December. It's December next month, so technically getting after now.
Yeah.
Well, we won't be inaugurated until February, I don't think. But so Trump won't be out of the White House until February. I don't think if he's lost. I could be wrong on that, but
Yeah.
I'm sure some fucking hater will comment. Like, I give a fuck. Anyway, so yeah, like, but you got to have a look. Like, people just look for excuses to not do stuff. So if those people, like the same people who use Christmas as an excuse, like Christmas is one day. And like for gyms, especially, like a lot of the small group training gyms, like they only close down for like maybe 2-3 days at a time. So they have all the times open. And like a lot of coaching organizations, they should have some sort of structure in place to keep people somewhat active over that little period. If they're not, they're doing themselves and everybody else a bit of a disservice, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because you can't just like, okay, it's 2 weeks off. The most fucked up thing I saw one time was a program that took 2 weeks off and charged everyone the exact same.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, savage.
You do that.
Savage.
That's a
What the fuck
business.
goes through some business owners' heads? Oh man, we have this
I was like,
conversation.
no. We just shut down, but they pay. I was like, what? Do you double everything up the week before and the week after? No. I was like, oh, so you're just stealing people's money. Okay, fair enough. All right. Anyway, yeah. So that was kind of crazy. I'll tell you who it was later.
Sure, I could guess.
Oh man, I can guess.
Yeah. You're probably right.
Yeah. Those ideas come just from one place.
Exactly. But yeah, man, I just think, those people need to be smashed, and they need to be totally reframed on their hesitation. They need that to be pointed out to them. And so you can even just use the classic objection antenna. Okay, if it wasn't Christmas, would this be the answer for you? Yes. Yeah. Why? So you can just start there and just use it as a normal loop. Use Christmas as a partner objection. It's the same shit. Okay, well, if, because you have a tangible thing there, so you can say, well, if you had the money, would this be the reason? If your partner was here and they were yes with this, if it was Christmas, if this was January 5th and we were having this conversation, would this be the answer for you?
That works.
It's like, okay, so what's that?
I was going to say that works especially well if you're Santa. Sorry, it's just a dead joke.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I think like, just kind of go at it, set your hooks early, like in the conversation, make sure that you have make sure that you've set it up so that you can handle it, and you've brought it up, and you've got some good pieces for the cost of inaction. And then you set your success metrics to be either stand still, which is a win, or like not lose or not gain. And then from there you've got a pretty good angle to take, and then you can just crack the knuckles and don't smash, I think, after that.
Yeah.
We'll have to do a whole podcast on don't smash.
I think that's a good place to leave it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Final thoughts?
You should have done it yesterday rather than thinking about why you can do it right now.
Yeah. So if you're out there thinking about getting better at sales and it's mid-December and you really owe it to yourself, you owe it to your prospects, you owe it to your family and your future self to sign up to the closing code. $25 for the first week.
My final thoughts is you better be making those sales on Christmas if you want to buy people presents. So,
and the only thing is going to get you there is role plays. So get to the closing code.
Yeah. Exactly. Get in there, get amongst it, get some role plays, and we'll help you work out your Christmas woes. And buy yourself a little Christmas present. Nobody likes buying over Christmas, but there's an awful lot of presents bought. So just buy a present for yourself. The closing code. Wrap it up in a nice little gift box for you. Send it to you over email. Right? In the form of a receipt for $25 for your first week. All right?
Brilliant.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming. Make sure that you guys subscribe. I've seen the analytics and half you fucks haven't subscribed. Actually, I think it's like 80% of you shits. You pieces of shit. You, the ones listening at the end here, haven't subscribed.
So if you want to give me a Christmas present, a subscription's all I need.
Yeah, or boy size clothes. Those are the. So you're a fucking midget. All right, guys. That was the close. All right, guys. Have a good one. Hope you enjoy it. And there'll be one more podcast in between now and Christmas. I assume this will be released mid December, maybe early December.
Maybe we'll release one the day after Christmas Eve.
Yeah, we'll have to do one where we're all dressed up like Santa Claus.
Yeah, and drunk on the Christmas spirit.
That's a great idea. Let's do a drunk podcast. That's a fantastic idea.
Yes. All right, let's do it.
Drunken Christmas podcast. Hit us up in the closing code group and just write hashtag drunken Christmas podcast, and then we can.
Oh, we're still recording. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. We're still there. Hey, these people, they signed up for this. You joined us. We didn't join you. I got told that first day in the army. Hey, motherfucker. You joined us. We didn't join you. I don't give a fuck what you have to say. It's like, fair enough, buddy. Anyway, thank you. Bye.
Put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only.